What is up, y'all? It's your girl, Brand New, and honey, I am back in the building. This time, honey, I'm back to talk about Miss Melody Holt's interview, honey. She did with the YouTuber from Crystal XO. So I'm gonna play the audio, you guys, and I will be in and out with my commentary.
Oh, it's a lot to unpack. I'm tired. I mean, you guys got a lot going on this season. Every season. Melody, I don't even know where to start. I guess the first thing, because so many people watch your story, and I think that your story is a lot of women's story. A lot of people can relate. It is the aftermath of divorce, and the aftermath of divorce is, I think we talked the last time, you knew what you were doing. You knew it was time. You did everything you could to save the marriage. And so now you are moving on as we kind of saw that you would, but it looks like your ex-husband is having a really hard time understanding what divorce means. Would you agree with that? Because it seems like he's not really understanding. This is how things go when a marriage falls apart. You do things and the marriage is over. Now we don't. It's very different. Speak a little bit about how the I guess you guys have tried to co-parent, and then just living now separately, and you not owing him anything and him not owing you anything. How have you guys been adapting to this new life?
So first, I will say that when it comes to co-parenting, definitely something that is new for us. But not as new to the point that we should still be having as many issues as we're having when it comes to that. Because true enough, we just got divorced officially in March, but we separated for over a year. So when it comes to the children and them going between the both of us, that's not new. So sometimes I don't understand why we still have so many issues, to be honest. I can say it's a work in progress. Yeah. And some days are better than others. I do have hope. I'm hopeful that eventually we will get to a point where it's a lot smoother. Mm-hmm. But you guys will get to see that process of what it looks like and the unfolding of all of that. When it comes to the accept of I'm no longer yours and you're no longer mine, let me just say that's a hard pill for people right now. Yeah. I know it may sound crazy, but I just, even though I was doing what I was doing, I didn't think that this would be the end result. So it's almost like reality is just now hitting him in the face. It comes off as an insult, because I feel like, well, what kind of woman did you think I was that I was going to stick around through all of that? Like, how?
He thought she was a woman, honey, that had low self-esteem. That's what he thought. I think the longer she stayed with him, guys, he just began to take her for granted. And it's not because of her, it's because of his ignorance, his foolishness. I don't know. I think Melody puts up with him for business at this point. They're on the show together, and through the show, I would make sure I'm getting my child support checks. Okay, I wouldn't keep talking to that big head buzzard. I want them checks. I want them coming on a card. I see Martell'S on the show talking about he got all these financial issues. You wouldn't have these financial issues, sweetie, if you would keep it in your pants. Okay, that way you can keep money in your wallet. Okay, I wish some of these men would recognize that and stop making decisions, with your little head and not your big head, okay? And when I say little head, I'm talking about your little friend downstairs, okay? Your big head is your brain.
I see, us not being together as the end result of what you've been doing. So he's definitely at a place now where he's having, I will say, he's just a hard time accepting that we're no longer one. And that, you don't get to control me. You don't get to control what I do. Mm-hmm. And so that's difficult. I mean, we were together for 14 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You guys know I'm going to keep it honest here. I'm not surprised at the difference because the last time we talked to you, you were very much, confident about your decision. The last time we talked to Martell, he was kind of thinking that there was a little chance, throwing out hints that he wanted to try to get his marriage back. And to his defense, I think a lot of men don't understand what happens when, your actions catch up with you and these are the consequences. It's kind of like, I don't think that's necessarily what he wanted, even though his actions may have suggested that. So co-parenting is one thing, but you guys also were business partners.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that also has got to be a huge adjustment. How have you been adjusting to no longer having your business partner? Because you said the last time when things were good, you guys did, you guys were that power couple. You did encourage each other business-wise. How has that been different now, working on your own and kind of stepping into the forefront as a leader without that business partner by your side?
So definitely I will say Melody and Martell, the power couple, power duo brand, something that we worked for many years to build and grow. Now me having to build entirely new brand, the Melody S. Holt brand, has been a lot of work.
Yeah.
It has been a lot of work, but I have been up for the.
And guys, really quickly, I apologize for it cutting in and out. It is not on me though. I don't know why Melody's audio is like that. Crystal, her audio is not going in and out. So it's not me, guys. All right.
Challenge. One thing about me, Crystal, I've always been a hard worker, and I'm not one to run challenges, so I'm one of those people. I'm gonna try to give it all I got until I ain't got no more. So I've just continued to work hard, grind, grow, network, rebuild myself. This isn't anything I asked for. I didn't ask for years of infidelity in my marriage and for me to be a divorced, now single mom, or nothing that I in any way thought would be a part of my life, to be honest.
That's right.
So I just really literally had to pick myself up and continue going, because the fact that you have more children to make sure they're good, to make sure that they are in a home that is positive, and that they have what they need and most of what they want.
I just love Melody's outtake, you guys, on her outlook, I should say, on life. She is a very positive, strong, magnificent woman. Okay, this woman is a go-getter. So if any of you guys are dealing with a breakup or you going through a divorce, honey, look to Melody, honey. Okay, Melody is just glowing. I'm so proud of her, you guys, because he was really breaking her down. You look at them first couple of seasons of Love and Marriage Huntsville, he was breaking that woman down. He kept trying to put her in lowest terms, honey, but Melody said, bitch, not today, and tomorrow don't look good either, and not on my watch, okay? I'm not gonna have this toenail head looking fool trying to tear me down, okay? Because he got all these issues, honey.
I love that. Well, in addition to your business, because we know you guys were in real estate, that's how we met you. You have a whole new career happening. I see photo shoots. You got your video came out, the song came out, and like I said, you were able to turn that into pain, into empowering for yourself. But to me, the song was not just about your story; it was about so many other women's stories as well. What has that process been like, putting that out and getting a chance to rediscover one of your passions that you probably had to kind of put on hold for a while as a wife and mom?
Absolutely. It has definitely been a relief mechanism for me to express my emotions and just release, different emotions and feelings that I've experienced as I've gone through this traumatic experience. Worked with some amazing people in the industry to help me, pen and produce, a R&B chart song. So I recently, finished my video that will be dropping in the next week or two. So
yes.
That, and of course I've been in the studio making more music. My first one that will occur July 31st. I'm looking forward to that as well. I will say getting into the music industry is something that was totally new and different for me. So what I learned, I felt myself in the beginning had a little bit of anxiety. And so what I learned about myself, because I've tried to do, Crystal, is on this new journey, is learn male, right? Mm-hmm. I'll put on my hashtag male learning male. So I'm 22. I'm a 35 grown-ass woman with 4 kids. So I'm a whole different person.
Yeah, that's a lot different than a 22-year-old with stars in her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I have learned about myself is that when I am in the unknown, I don't feel comfortable. I like to know the ins and outs. I'm a person who has to know the ins and outs of everything. So the industry at first, I was a little anxious, a little nervous. So I began to study the same way I did when I got into the construction industry. I began to study so that I personally knew what was going on and what needed to happen. And so, you know, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling great. I'm positive, optimistic about what's to come. Looking forward to giving you guys some more amazing music. And as you said, my song is not just about my situation. While you see my situation in it, when I entered the studio and we began penning this song, we realized myself, the writers, producer, all of us in some shape or fashion had experienced a lot of what we ended up penning. So, you know, that's why in the trailer, you know, it's like, look, my song ain't just about you. It sounds good. I like for it to be, but this is a story of so many people, especially women.
Yeah.
And for him, you guys, Martell, to say anything about that song created, it's just like, what is the problem with her making a song talking about what she went through with you and Coleslaw? Okay, like if you would have never put her in a damn situation, we wouldn't even have a telltale signs. Like, child, I just don't know how Melody deals with Martell even now, because I probably would have slapped the shit out of him.
Well, I got to ask you, because that is a huge, I mean, it's I hate to say this, but it's one thing for a significant other to have it, it's, you know, for there to be infidelity, but for there to be a proof of that, that is a heartbreak that a lot of people would not be able to recover from. A lot of women deal with it in silence. And you know, I don't love the fact that you went through it, but I love the fact that you are a strong example that, you know, you can get through heartbreak. But that had to be very, you know, traumatizing when you first learned about it. I know you probably knew about it before we knew about it. Obviously, there's a little bit of time between when the show airs and when you guys are going through things. Can you talk a little bit about just how that felt, knowing that was that the straw that broke the camel's back? Like, I can't do this anymore, when you found out there was an actual baby?
Okay, so, you know, this is going to sound probably a little interesting, but here's the thing. To be honest with you, I had already left before. Me choosing to walk away from my marriage for good, I didn't even know anything about another child at the time. Yeah. Wow. So it had nothing to do with another child. So when I found out that there was another child, for me, it was just confirmation.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it was confirmation that I made the right decision. And so while I can understand maybe some people who experience that and they're just totally heartbroken, I had already left. And so I didn't get all of those feelings that I imagine, right, that so many probably get.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's probably better, because your heart had disconnected from it before, because that would have been very, very difficult to.
Absolutely. I have no doubt that it would have been very difficult.
Yeah, and it seems like Martell has a hard time accepting that is what.
Contrary to popular belief, and you guys will see, you know, as you watch this season, I'm not that person who's over here like, I'm actually encouraging. Like, hey, even long before we started taping this season, hey, like, when are you when are you gonna do this? This is what needs to happen. I'm not that person sitting over here saying they better not ever meet them. I'm not that, because first of all, that's not love. Okay. And I try to, in everything I do, as best as I can, to operate in godly love. So I'm not a person.
Yeah.
Wow. So Melody is even encouraging Martell to introduce their 4 children to him and Arionne's new baby. And that is very commendable, because a lot of women would be stuck in that place of hurt and bitterness. And, within reason, they probably wouldn't want the children to meet. But for her to be operating from a place of love, that just says so much about her character, you guys.
Also, it's only my business to an extent, so I can't anybody do anything. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. You have definitely evolved. You know, when you went, girl, I was like, I'm okay with that. She has healed. She has been. God has moved her forward. She is good. That is how you know that you are truly over something. Note to all the women out there watching: when you can have that type of strength to say, I'm going to continue to operate in love, and this is what's right for the children. That is commendable. And I'm not going to lie, Melody, I don't know that I would have been there that quickly. It probably would have taken me a little bit longer, just because it's just like, for real? It's taking him longer.
Let me tell you, and you guys will see this play out, but I mean, honestly, I even offered, I was like, hey, I will be present when you let them know if you want me to, just so that they see that mommy is okay, so that they be even, better in accepting what has happened. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not over here bitter, miserable, hateful, none of that, girl. I'm trying to live my best life and make this whole brand pop like I needed to pop, okay?
I am not mad. We are not mad at that. We know that you're doing, the singing, and then you also been hosting shows for OWN. How has that experience been? Because the great thing about that is you've got a chance to tell some great stories, really some amazing celebrities and their moms and different things like that. How has that experience been, and how has that helped you to grow professionally?
Absolutely. So one of my goals was to, become a host in terms of my entertainment career. And so when Carlos came, y'all already know Carlos is
the man.
Made that phone call about Behind Every Man and was like, so we presented it, gave Oprah your name. She said yes. I said, okay. I was like, okay. And I picked up because I felt how significant for me to be able to host an amazing show that's showing light, shining so many amazing women and what they've experienced and overcome, when I was also, just having experience working through my own trials and tribulations. I feel that it was divine alignment all day.
Yeah. I remember when I saw that you were doing it, I think, wow, that's great, because it allows her to be speaking on positivity and keeps, because when you go through something like that, it's a fork in the road. You can either choose to look at all the positive situations and focus on bringing that to you, or you can get stuck in the pain that you've experienced. And so I thought, wow, that's really cool that she's getting that opportunity to be a part of some great inspirational stories like that. So congratulations. And we enjoy seeing you do that, Melody. Now, the great thing about this show is that it does show African Americans working together, building empires, speaking legacy into their children and things like that. And there's friendships in addition to that. So we see you guys, we met this group as the comeback group and group of friends, but it seems like what everybody has going on inside their house caused problems and caused friendships to break down, more so with the women than the men. Why do you think we see the women struggling? Because just in my opinion, and again, like I said, I always keep it honest with you, I feel like a lot of the breakdown is because when you see something happening outside your house, you become afraid that could happen in your house.
Yeah.
So you kind of start to act out in different ways. And if you're going through something, it's got to be difficult to really, stay positive with friendships. But the men seem to be able to see things happening outside, deal with it, and keep their friendship, where the women continue to struggle.
That's most men relationships. That's what they do.
They do. We should learn from that, though, because they get mad at each other, talk crazy about each other, and then they see each other and they're fine.
Yeah.
Women, we're sitting there like, I'm still not cool with you now.
I'm not talking to that witch.
Y'all gonna have to watch this season, because you just never know how things may unfold between the ladies. You got to watch.
Well, I hope that definitely happens. I'll say I really hope that you and Tisha, because I feel like you guys are at different places in life at different times, and sometimes having somebody to help you mature in a way that you weren't there, they got there before you, can be helpful. Sisterhood has to go up, it has to go across, and it also has to go down, because you never know. So I do hope, I'll go on record saying I do hope that you guys are able to really get back to where you were initially. That's my hope. So if that happens, you got to come back and talk to us later in the season. But talk a little bit about just the friendships and how you've been able to kind of maneuver now that you guys are no longer a couple, but you guys both still have friends that are couples, and you guys came into this as a couple, and now it's like, okay, now it's Melody by herself, but you still want to maintain those friendships.
Absolutely. I think that overall, everyone that we have friendships with, they respect our decision, and so I think everyone just wants the friendship that we've had to continue on despite the divorce, and at the end of the day, and giving support to each of us in their own way. They're all doing that. I think that is kind of whenever you're put to the test, that your true love kind of shows, or that friendship comes out, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I with the people in the group is just, genuine trying to support.
Yeah. What did you learn about yourself, or what have you learned going through these seasons, publicly, going through all of this, talking to people, talking to women, I'm sure, that are in your DMs? What has been like? Give us maybe 2 or 3 of the biggest lessons that you've learned personally.
Yes, I have learned I'm a badass cookie.
Hey.
Listen.
There you go. Yes, ma'am.
Straight up, like people's opinions, because everybody has an opinion.
Yeah.
Say what they think you should have done or what you should do and all of that. Those don't faze me. Like the fact that I can sit here and honestly say they don't move me.
Yeah.
I'm a strong Black woman for real, because it doesn't move.
Right.
I'm very much so a person who's going to move the way I want to move, when I want to move, how I want to move. I'm not easily influenced. Okay. So I've learned that about myself. Also, I would say that I have learned, while I've always been people's person, always doing things since I was a kid, pageants and, competition, singing, all kinds of talent shows and all of that. Always, every organization in school I'm a part of, 9 times I'm president of. I've just always been doing stuff. But what I learned in this season is that I also enjoy my alone time.
Yeah.
And when I say that I have had more alone time this past year I have ever had, I'm talking about where I ain't got to deal with nobody, talk to nobody. I don't want the TV on, nothing.
That's that grown woman. That's when you get that grown woman space. Like, I am good just on my own. Like, I just need some me time for me. And I enjoy that. That's a
right.
grown-ass woman.
Real talk. I was in, as a matter of fact, my mom was in town this weekend, and I was in my room, nothing but quiet, me sitting in the bed. She came in there, turned the TV on. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But I can't say nothing because that's my mama. But that's my
right.
So,
yes.
I just really, despite me loving people, and I do get energy. I'll be real, I get energy from being around people. I also have learned I enjoy my me time and my time. And I think that is what's been helping me through the journey, and also just learning more about myself. In those quiet moments, I learn more about myself. So I really do. I feel really good. Even watching the trailer, I'll be honest with you, and seeing myself and Martell, arguing. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't really argue with nobody. I don't really argue with anyone anymore since I'm no longer in marriage. So that's new for me. Again, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, like when I was watching the trailer, I was like, who is that girl? Like, real talk, I don't even argue with people.
Y'all heard that? See how Martell ain't nothing but the devil had her arguing with people, honey, when she was married to him. That's what happens though, when you are with a toxic person. They bring you down, they have you acting a fool. It sounds like Melody is in a really good space. She's very peaceful. She's very reflective, and I don't know. Even though it may be a painful time for her, I think it's a good time for her to, get back to herself and figure her out again, because her and Martell were married for a long time. And I know that when people are married, they derive their sense of self a lot of times through their marriage and not as an individual. So I'm happy, that she's just learning so much about herself.
I very much love and appreciate calmness and stillness, and it's nice. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's again good signs that you are in a great place.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us, we are talking with the one. Okay. Because I can relate to you in that I got married very young, and I went through a divorce. But when I got married in my 20s and had children, and when I ended up going through my divorce, I was a very different woman because I grew up during the marriage. I became a woman. I was like 20, and then I got divorced at 32. So that's a very different woman at that point. So then I started to date, and I was like, wow, what do I don't even know, because I grew up in this relationship. So I wonder, from your perspective, do you see that you're very different as a woman in the needs that you have from a man than you were when you initially got married, to your ex-husband?
Well, now I'm going to be honest. Now I have been enjoying learning myself. I have been enjoying loving on my children and making them right. What I think that I want in a partner, I think.
Y'all, I really wish that this lady would have told Melody, girl, you going in and out, because this is a good interview, but child, the sound, honey. Whew. Let's continue, honey. We almost done, honey. Okay.
I think it's very similar to the same thing I wanted when I was 20.
Okay. What characteristics were you looking for then? What was it that you wanted? And we're just gonna, this is about Melody. We're not gonna focus on, we're just gonna call him the ex, but what were you looking for at that age? And then I'll just ask you, what would you be looking for now?
So they are pretty much the same. I enjoy quality time. I very much so am a person who enjoys physical touch.
I bet you do enjoy physical touch, honey. You got 4 babies for a reason, okay?
Someone would have to definitely be a person who is affectionate and doesn't have a problem expressing that, because I've always been a physical touch kind of person. That's my top love language.
Okay.
And I enjoy quality time. So like when Martell and I got together, we went on one date, and after that first date, every day he was calling me, you want to go to the park? You want to go to the movie? Like the movie, you want to, like we became inseparable pretty quick.
Right. He was locking it in.
Yeah, absolutely. So that same kind of energy, maybe not quite every day, because I do have 4 children now.
Right. You've got other things happening right now.
Yeah. So, not every day.
And really quickly, guys, weigh in. Do you feel like that was smart of them to do back then? Like spending so much time together in the beginning? Should Melody had him chase her a little bit more? Because from what it sounds like, I don't know, it just seemed like Martell got real comfortable. And I know outside of this whole Melody and Martell situation, you could be dating a guy and you see him every day and he just gets used to you, right? And so when men get comfortable, that to me is when they begin to like act out the most. You got to leave a little bit of mystery there with the man. He can't know your every move. You can't always be available to him. So do you all think that that has something to do with these two growing apart, you know, them being so young? Please weigh in on that, guys, in the comments, please.
Someone who enjoys quality time, and I love moments. I love things that you put together or that happen that are things you'll always remember.
Mm-hmm.
Not typical normal stuff that everybody does when they're dating, but I love to create moments.
That's right. I love that.
Loyalty, protection, someone who has drive to make things happen. And that kind of go get it kind of mentality. The same thing I wanted then is the same thing I would look for now.
Okay.
Are there any things that you learned about your ex while you guys were together that you realized I would not want that, aside from the cheating? So we know that.
Yeah.
But are there any other qualities that you saw in him that you thought, you know what, I don't like that, and I would not want that moving forward?
Absolutely. So one thing in Male Learning Male, I've realized is that I had to become defensive. I had to learn to defend myself verbally, because if not, I would have been crying every day. If I was a super sensitive person with some of the things said to me, I'd be crying every day. So it forced me to become defensive, and that comes off sometimes, you know, as you.
Oh, her audio is out. Let's see, guys. Let me see.
Turn you down.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. So, it got to the point, you curse me out, I'm going to curse you back out. And so it put me in a place that I'd never been in. Looking back at it, relationships I had prior, I never had to do that. So I would say people can bring out the best in you, or people can bring out the worst in you.
That's right.
So outside of the cheating, I know that I would want someone who gives me the ultimate respect.
That's right.
And that in turn makes
y'all, she looking good, honey. And I believe this is a Adidas tracksuit, honey. She is looking snatch. You go, Mel, honey. Divorce looks good on you, girl. It do. You looking good.
Love to want to respect them back, you know?
Yeah. I like that. So you're saying you're not going to tell, have you started that process of being open to being out there and dating again yet? Are you ready for that?
Well, you know, what I've been doing, honestly, I've just been enjoying people, learning people, loving to get to hear and see different people's, you know, different sides of people. I am not, I will say, I know that I'm not necessarily looking for marriage. I still believe in marriage. Me personally, that's not an end goal of mine. So, you know, I've just been enjoying learning people.
Yeah, well, you continue to do that. That is good to do. Take your time with it. I am going to ask you one last question about that, because I think I got to one last question. But this is fun. If you could pick a celebrity crush, and I'm sure you've met a lot of them by now, so maybe somebody that you haven't met or whatever, but that just would have, and we don't know what people are like behind closed doors, but from their persona, what are you attracted to? Like, if you could kind of give us an idea of what your type would be, what would that look like?
Listen, now, you know, they got all of us loving Morris Chestnut, because they always have him.
Oh, yeah, girl, that's sexy. Chocolate, honey. That's a chocolate bar, honey. Okay, let me calm down, honey.
These damn movies being good with them words and all that stuff. Sexy in every dang old movie he's in. So,
But can I tell you something? I've met him and worked with him a couple of times. I'm very good friends with his publicist. And the crazy thing about Morris...
Are you talking about Jocelyn?
Jocelyn, yes.
Girl, we were just talking last week. That's my girl. Oh my God.
When I first met him, she introduced us, but she said, you know, we talk offline, you know, about clients. He honestly is as good as he comes across.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, he's just an amazing guy that, in one of the few, because a lot of celebrities, I'll think something about them and then you meet him and it's like, I'm not like that anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he is somebody that the more you're around him, the more his wife is a very blessed woman because he is an amazing guy and he carries himself with integrity. And that is he's hands down, that's a great example because I have never, and trust me, I've called Jocelyn like, are you sure?
About this, but no,
are you sure he really? And she's like, no, like I've been with him the whole time. He is just a good man around. So all that beautiful chocolateiness outside is just as beautiful inside, which is great. So yeah, that's a great celebrity crush for all of us to have. He's got the inside that matches the outside.
Yeah,
and it's been that way consistent. For years, he's been married to his wife and so respectful and loving towards her publicly for years. So
that's amazing.
You're gonna be all right, Melody S. Holt. You got everything that you need. Yes, ma'am. So tell us. I know we don't have much more time. I love talking to you because I think there's so many women that watch this that really are inspired by your strength. What do you think what are the highlights? Because we saw that trailer. In the trailer, there's so much that we could talk about from that trailer. But what are some of the things that you're looking forward to hearing the viewers see? Some of the things that you're excited for us to actually get a chance to see this season.
Well, I think there's a lot going on for everyone. So, I think that's going to be interesting. You guys see Destiny going to be making a huge announcement. You also see, a new cast being introduced, Tiffany and Lou. So I think that's going to be great. They're a great addition to the cast. So I'm looking forward to that. And I think you guys are just going to continue to see of us working through things that we didn't get to finish working through before COVID,
Right.
So I think it's going to be great. You guys are definitely in for a roller coaster of a ride. Carlos else.
Yes, he did. He definitely knows what he's doing.
Yes, you do, honey.
Last question, Melly. What advice would you give? And I have to ask you this because, like I said, the comments always reflect that. What advice would you give to someone that sees your strength and wants to see themselves in that place, but just isn't there yet? What can you give someone that they can do behind the scenes to kind of help them get to that space where they're able to start to feel that confidence and become their best self like you've been able to do?
Absolutely. So what I would say is focus on growing leadership, focus on listening to your intuition and be able to understand when God is telling you to go. I told God to go, right? And that's very dear to my heart because that's real. There's never a moment where anyone should be able to tell you to walk away or to stay. It should literally be when God says go.
That's right. So
I would encourage you all to, like I said, just work on learning yourself, look within, increase your levels of spirituality, increase the vibrations and the energy around you. Pray often, and then allow yourself to hear your answer. And the answer may not be always exactly what you want it to be, but open to receive the answer accordingly.
Well, I said that was the last question, but I got to ask you one more just because the last time you were here, your little mama was there with you. She was not going to let mama loose for the interview. How are your babies doing? Tell us a little bit about what they've been doing since COVID and all this stuff has happened. Now we're back at summer vacation, actually.
Absolutely. They are growing. They're doing well. Lonnie is fitting right in with her 3 siblings and, trying to take over the show, okay? They're doing well. I'm looking forward, honestly, to you guys seeing them and seeing how they are, doing with the transition. I think it's important to authentically show what it looks like when a family truly is separated. So for anybody out there who is playing relate with their marriage, with their life, or whatever the case may be, you might want to watch this and see how everyone definitely affected.
Yep. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and end the video right there. I really enjoyed this interview that Crystal did with Miss Melody Holt. I am so proud of Melody, you guys. She is getting her life back on track. She is looking wonderful. She is so positive, so spiritual. She is just going down the right road, okay? So anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought about the video, and I will check you guys out later. Bye.